All right, take two. That was very fast how they dropped that so quickly. So I will give it a minute for people to get in here. Yep. Hey, Tyler. Tyler Clark. You're the first one back. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyway, I will just remind people. I'll wait till some people get in here first before we get going with this. Unbelievable. Every time you start talking about numbers, that happens. Yeah, I know. It's just crazy. But so anyway, we are take two. We're trying to try again here. Hopefully everything goes well. Again, if there is an interruption, please be patient, okay? I will get back on as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully we can get through this and this thing stays on, okay? But so we're going to go right into it here, guys, okay? So we're going to go with the numbers that they're giving us, which we know are not true, okay? They're saying the infected is at 78,914 worldwide. 2,467 deaths, and they are saying 23,386 people are recovered. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this information, because this literally, I just got this 5 minutes ago. In Wuhan, the people that have recovered, some of them are still testing positive for the coronavirus, okay? So they are putting those people that have recovered on a 14-day quarantine. How about that? So that's actually breaking. This just came in. Literally just got that information from one of my awesome subscribers who sends me a tremendous amount of great information. So you know who you are, and thank you very much. So, so yeah, well, yeah, it's weird how that happens. So we're going to try to, but anyway, so that I thought was really, really interesting. That was the case, that was what happened, that they are now, people that have recovered, and remember, here's our recovered number, okay, 23,386. Some of those people are retesting positive again for the virus. So now what they're doing is they're going to quarantine all. This is in Wuhan, okay? This isn't anywhere else at this point. In Wuhan, they're going to quarantine those people again for an additional 14 days. Now, we know that the bug is anywhere between 14 days. Now it's up to 27 days. It can be, non-asymptomatic, and you can still infect people in that time period. So it is person-to-person transfer, so we know that as well. Yeah, so when is the lockdown? That is a great question in the U.S. That's a great question, Peter. We're going to get into a little bit of everything. So what I think, so with that, now here's what I want you guys to think about too. In China right now, 500 million people, that's 500 million people, are on some sort of lockdown or restrictions. So what does that mean, right? You're talking about that's more people than in the entire United States. More people than the entire United States are on some form of lockdown right now. Now, how are they doing it, okay? And one of the ways that they're doing it is they're giving incentives on people to tell on people. So in certain provinces over in China, if somebody has a fever and you turn them in, you get some kind of monetary reward for that. So that's how they're getting people to rat on each other. Hey, Jerry Hardison, you got my super chat? I did get it. I saw it come in, and I apologize that it just, as soon as that came in, it went blank. So I don't remember what you said, but I saw that come in. So thank you for that donation, and thank you for this one as well. And I'm sorry, guys. I have no control over it. If they snap it, they snap it. Like I said, I updated my router hoping that was the problem. Apparently, that's not the problem. So we know what the problem is. But, okay. So one of the things that I had talked to you guys about, and I mean, like I said, I got a lot of information written down, so I want to go over as much of it as I possibly can. One of the things I talked to you guys about was pay attention to what was going on around the world, right? So that's really important, I said, because it's going to give you an idea, because they're not going to always give us the full truth with anything. So they're never going to do that. So time to bring the kids home. I think they could very soon, to be honest with you. I think we need to continue to pay attention to what is going on. You're having these clusters jump out and break open. So let's talk about this for a minute. We're going to start with South Korea. South Korea is now, the cases were doubled in the last 24 hours. And I want you to think about that, because that's going to be, I think they're giving a more accurate number. So that's going to kind of tell you how bad things really are in China, not that they're saying. Watch Peak Prosperity YouTube video. I will do that. And thank you again, Jerry, for that donation as well. I will check him out, I promise. So there's 602 cases now in South Korea with 6 deaths, okay? And the outbreak is around their 4th largest city. And I can't say this, and I know I'm going to butcher it, so I'm going to spell it. It's D-A-E-G-U. That's the name of the city. And it's the 4th largest city in South Korea. And that's the epicenter there of where they're having these breakouts of this virus. But they have doubled within the last 24 hours. That's something to really, really pay attention to. Now, they have gone, South Korea has raised their alert level to the red alert. So first time they raised it to a red alert since 2009 when they had the swine flu outbreak. So that just tells you right there, South Korea is very concerned, okay? Very concerned, and they should be. Now, I want to talk about, we're going to talk about Japan next, okay? Now, in Japan, let me just sort of put all my information for that. You had the 3rd person from the ship passed away. Now, I don't know if anybody knew that either, but the 3rd person from the Diamond Princess ship did pass away. Also, a lady that they let off the ship on Wednesday, on Saturday, tested positive for the virus, okay? They're trying to find 23 other people that they also let off the ship that they want to retest to make sure. They don't even know where they are. So I want you to think about that, though. So they let this lady off the ship on Wednesday, and who knows where she went, who knows who she came in contact with. And then on Saturday, she tested positive. So the total number from the ship is now up to 634 people on the ship, from the ship, I should say, tested positive for the virus. So that's scary. The total number of cases in Japan is sitting at 773, but that's including the 634 from the Princess ship. But again, it is starting to spread in Japan as well now, and they need to be concerned. They seriously dropped the ball with that whole situation. Professor Enigma, it's spreading on money and through ATMs. I agree, absolutely, that does stay on money. Southlink, Samsung shut factories. Let me get back to read that, guys. Factories down for a week. I suspect LG, Deadwood, and Hyundai will follow. Expect economic turmoil. Yes, I saw that. I was going to mention that, so thank you for mentioning that. Thank you guys both for the donations as well. I do appreciate that. I was going to get into that. We're going to talk about the whole economic aspect of this as well. Okay, but I wanted to talk about, you know, what was going on over there in Japan too. It's going to be crazy over there as well. You got people walking around that, you know. Hey, Asif, let's see. I've been watching Peak Prosperity since the beginning of the CV. Excellent source of information. Very good. Okay, cool. And thank you very much for that donation. I'm going to have to go over there and check him out. So I will definitely do that. So thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So this is, again, I ordered some mask and filters from Amazon. After I placed the order, I seen it's from China. Well, again, you can take them and set them aside. They're saying that the things will live for 9 days on the surface, I guess is the guesstimate right now. If you don't need to use them, what I would do is, again, I would just set them aside right now. I would sanitize the crap out of it on the outside of the packaging as well, but just let them sit. If you don't need to use it for right now, just let that sit. And if you can let it sit for a week or 10 days, you know, you should be in, well, more than 9 days, you should be good to go. So that's what I would suggest. Hey, JUEUFM, is there anything we can do to slow this monster down? You know what? I wish there was. I really don't think that there's that possibility that this is going to slow down. The sad thing with this is the ball was dropped on many fronts on this thing. First off, with China. China dropped the ball big time. And they did it to try to protect themselves and their ego or whatever, stay in control. This thing, and then you're talking about world travel on top of it. craziness, absolute craziness. Guys, we're almost, where do we, oh, we're already at 1.8. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I see we only got like 397 on a thumbs up. If you would shoot a thumbs up, I would appreciate that to show support for the channel. Really concerned that this thing, it's too late. It's going to be all over the place. It is going to be everywhere. I've been warning for this. I've been warning you guys for a couple weeks on this thing now. What we can do to protect ourselves. Hey, Michigan chicken lover. Oh, hold on one second. Was just at the hospital and they act like nothing to worry about. Oh, I believe it. They're trying to keep it really, they're downplaying it while they're getting ready. And thank you very much for that donation as well. And yeah, they absolutely are downplaying this thing unbelievably. So, you know, absolutely craziness. I want to mention, let me do this part and get this out of the way just so you guys, we can focus on other stuff. My sale on my website, preppernurse1.com, it ends tonight at midnight West Coast time. So if you are in the continental United States or Alaska or, you know, Hawaii, you can still take advantage of that sale. It's 20% off all freeze-dried food except for the sample packs. So you go to the website in preppernurse1.com, you click on store, it drops down, it'll say legacy, you click on that, then you order, 20% comes off as you check out. So I wanted to put that out there. The sale is ending today at midnight West Coast time. Okay, so just putting that out there for you guys. You don't have to buy my freeze-dried food. Whatever freeze-dried food you want to order or have, that's fine with me, as long as you are doing something to help yourself. That's what I want more than anything else. If you do buy through me from my website, it helps the channel, and I will say that. And so that's all I'm going to say for now. I may mention it again at the end just to, so people, new people are in, that they'll see it. Okay, so let's get back to it. So I just want to put that out there for you guys if anybody was interested. So let's go with Italy. Like I said, I got a ton of information for you guys, okay? Italy right now has 155 cases in Italy. Most of them are centered around Milan. They have put 11 cities on quarantine or lockdown in Italy right now. They've had 3 deaths so far from it. And what they've also done is they've closed schools, and they're canceling the iconic Venice Carnival that they have. Their last 2 days of the carnival, they're canceling that as well to try to get control of this, because they're having a huge breakout in Italy right now with the coronavirus. So that's really scary as well. Hey, MT Coiner, thanks for the information. You're very welcome. You know, like I said, we need to share information. We need to stay up on top of stuff. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things tonight, too, with this. I wanted to get through these different things. In Iran right now, they have had 8 deaths so far. There's 43 cases, confirmed cases in Iran. It's probably more than that, would be my guess. Most of them are in around the city, and I'm going to spell this because I can't say it, QOM. I do not know how they say it, so I don't want to say it wrong. But that's the city where they're having the most issues with that, all right? But again, now in Iran, they've closed schools in Iran. They've closed religious centers and cultural centers across 14 provinces in Iran right now. They've done that. So these different countries, guys, are canceling school. They are canceling, you know, like the religious centers and the different things. They're putting cities on lockdown. Pay attention to this. Vietnam, they have a total of, hold on a second, I got this written down here. Where did I put that? Hold on one second, guys. I got to see where I threw that one. I just want to make sure I give you the right information. And where I put that. I'm losing that info. I don't know where I put that information. But anyway, I know that in Vietnam, they have 10,000 people on quarantine right now, locked down. So one of the things I did want to mention, too, about China, okay? So I want you guys to think about this one. You have 1/2 billion people on some form of either total lockdown or restrictions where they're not allowed to leave their house without permission. Nobody's going to work. Nobody's making anything. They are losing money like crazy. You have, okay, here's what, okay, yeah, I got Vietnam. No, I'm sorry. 16 cases in Vietnam right now, 10,000 people on quarantine. Vietnam is saying they're going to have a $4 billion loss in tourism in just 3 months, because a lot of the people that go to Vietnam are coming there from China. Okay, so you're having all kinds of issues. So financially, around the world, I mean, you got to understand, there's so many people in China, and they're all over the place, and they're visiting all over, which, you know, is a normal thing to do because we have worldwide travel and we can go anywhere now, which is great. But this just helps absolutely spread this thing right now with like absolutely crazy. So you have all these countries. Oh, and another thing I was going to tell you too, let's see, where was that one? Hold on, I want to just make sure I get this right. Okay, Turkey and Pakistan have closed their borders with Iran right now. They've closed their borders with Iran because of the virus. So again, there is a tremendous amount of craziness going on out there. Now let's talk about the United States for a second. And I'm just going to give you one example here in the United States. 325 people right now up in Michigan are being monitored. They're not under quarantine, but they're under self-quarantine for the virus, okay? Because they're all people that have recently returned within the last 2 weeks from China, okay? So you have 325 people that are not under a mandatory quarantine, but they're under, you know, observation. I know that all over the country, we got different pockets of people that are under observation. Up in Washington State, there's over 700 people under observation. It is crazy, guys. On my website, on my page on Facebook, I put up those 2 pictures showing I was just at one of the local Walmarts, completely just about out of bleach. That whole area was just, it was completely, I couldn't believe it. I took a picture of that, and I also took a picture of the freeze-dried food. Gone. Everything gone. And so this is, you know, people are waking up. And you're going to see price gouging. You will definitely see price gouging. So pay attention to stuff, okay? Really, really important. Real important. So let's see. How close are you to bringing Heather and your son home to bug in? I got to see what happens more in the United States. You know, I know we're not being given all the information. I know for a fact we're not being given all the information. To say that there's only 35 cases positive in the U.S., I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. When you have these different things happening around the world, it is spreading. And you're getting clusters. You know, you look at what's happening in South Korea. You look what's happening in Japan, Italy. It's spreading, guys, and it's moving. And to think that there's no cases in South America, I think that's unrealistic to think that. But I do think that I will be bringing them home at some point soon. But I will keep an eye on it. And like I said, guys, I promise you, when we get to that point, I will absolutely tell you, bring your kids home. Get them home. I think hopefully they're going to be proactive about things. Are you preserving your chicken eggs and how? Okay, the best way, if you want to preserve your chicken eggs, now I give a lot of my eggs away, I'll be honest with you. I give a lot of them away to my neighbors so that they can enjoy them as well. But if I had to lock down and preserve my eggs, mineral oil. You never wash the egg because the egg has a natural coating on there from the mother, okay? But if you coat those eggs in mineral oil, they will last up to 9 months in a cool, dry place. You put them in a cool, dry place, unrefrigerated, they will last up to 9 months. So that's just how, that's give you an idea of how you can do it. Real simple, real simple. But no test kits in 47 states. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. The thing is, like I said, guys, there's way too many unknowns with this thing. And that's frightening. That's really frightening that there's so many unknowns that we don't know what's happening. We are not being given all the information, which is also very frightening. So we need to be proactive. And I have been preaching for the last couple of weeks, get ready to shelter in place. I'll say it again. If you have not done so at this point, get on it, because people are starting to wake up and realize something serious is happening. The stores will be emptied. When people panic, the stores will be emptied. What I encourage everybody to do, And make sure you do proper hand washing. When you're washing your hands, guys, okay, make sure you're getting between your fingers like that. 20 seconds. Soap up really well all over. Get your whole hands just like this, right between your fingers, the whole 9 yards. 20 seconds minimum of scrubbing on your hands with soap. Rinse it off. You know, paper towels. Open the door to the bathroom wherever you may be with that paper towel. You know, a dry paper towel. So again, if this thing can live on the surface for 9 days, that's a scary thing in itself, okay? There's so many unknowns. We don't know how bad it is or how bad it has spread so far, even in the U.S. But if you're paying attention to what else is happening around the world, it's a real good indication that this thing is going viral, if you will. I hate to use that term, but it's going to be. It is already a pandemic, or an epidemic. You know, it's going to be all over the place, and it's the places that they say it's not yet. I'm sure that it is much worse than they're saying. You know, it's 7,600 in California have been asked to self-quarantine since they just came back from China. Okay, that doesn't surprise me at all. Now, but why would you not do a mandatory quarantine for people? I mean, I know it costs money, and that's a big part of it. Everything's about money. Believe me, at the end of the day, it's all about money. But what you got to understand, too, we're going to be seeing a trickle-down. Remember we talked about the trickle-down effect. You have 500 million people that are on restrictions right now in China. A lot of those people were supposedly going to go back to work February 10th, right? After the Chinese New Year and all that. Professor Enigma, and how many people use the same ATM in 9 days? Exactly. That's a great point. Take a antiseptic thing when you go to that ATM and wipe that down first. There's no shame in that. That's not, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they got the wipes that you can have, the antiseptic wipes. Wipe it all down before you use it. But you're right. How many people, just even in a day, use an ATM? A tremendous amount, you know. And then you're passing money when you're, you know, buying something or selling something. You get money, you get your change back. You throw it in your pocket, you know. So again, the spread can happen that easily. And but what I was going to say was, most of these people are supposedly, we're going to go back to work as of the 10th. They're still not back to work. Today's the 23rd. It's 2 weeks later. Them not working, them not producing, making products to send to the United States, because we get so much of our things from China, you're going to see the effect of that trickle down here in the States. You are absolutely going to see that. So pay attention to that, guys. Get whatever you need now. I don't, like I said, batteries, flashlights, any components that you need, whatever you want to grab, I would get them now. What happens when someone, hold on a second. Let me just read that question. I'm sorry. What happens when someone recovers from it and then they can still spread it? What happens the second time they get it? I have heard heart attacks. Will we see a second larger wave of deaths? That's Golden Doodle just asked that question. That's a great question. And I've heard those same things, that when people get reinfected, they have a lot of heart attacks the second time, and it's taken people out the second time. They're already showing people are getting reinfected a second time. This is no joke, guys. This is the real deal, I really believe. I mean, up to this point, now, like I said, I am not a gloom and doomer. I'm not going to come on here and say the end of the world is coming. Oh, my God, the sky is falling. I won't do that to you. I actually have too much respect for all of you to ever do that. I urge caution. I urge preparedness, and I will always do that. The biggest thing that we do not want to do, folks, is panic. We don't want to panic, because if you panic, you're just screwed. And what's going to happen, and you're starting to see it, the shelves are starting to get emptied. The prices of things are going up. There's not going to be goods coming in to replace things. So whatever you need to get out there and get it. I'm going to be honest with you. I have been very, very proactive with this. When I've been telling you guys to prep, I have been prepping myself. I've shown some of the stuff that I have gotten in other videos, but I'm really, really strongly advocate you guys to prep. I really do. Wow, we're at 2.5 in the chat, which is actually a new record. So thank you guys for that. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so. Make sure you show support for the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon as well. Hey, Asif, I'm still gathering prep supplies. Hold on a second. this weekend, and we'll get more tomorrow. Planning for 8 weeks of supplies for home. Window is closing now. You're right. The window is absolutely closing. Thank you very much for that donation too, by the way. But yeah, the window of opportunity, guys, is absolutely closing. We are not going to have a tremendous amount of time. And again, there's no new stuff coming in to replace